Welcome to Have History Will Travel. I am your host, the Wilder Historian, and the patrons over on Patreon voted for an animated battle map for Culp's Hill during the second day's fight at Gettysburg. If you would like to vote for the next animated battle map, please check out the Patreon page. The link is in the description below. After one day of fighting, the Union Army maneuvered itself into a defensive position along Cemetery Ridge and onto Culp's Hill. Most attention about the fighting on the second day revolves around the fight for Little Round Top Devil's Den in the Wheatfield. But the Union and Confederate forces who engaged on the Union right fought a knockdown, drag-out fight. Most of that July day was spent for the Union building breastworks. The Confederates in Edward Johnson's division of Ewell's 2nd Corps rested and waited for orders to attack. For the majority of the day, the Union heavily occupied Culp's Hill, with Wadsworth from the 1st Corps and Henry Slocum's 12th Corps. As those units were fortifying their position, their fellow comrades were attempting to fend off the rebels to the south. Commander of the Army of the Potomac, George Meade, and his generals became worried about being flanked and immediately began rearranging brigades and divisions to reinforce the Union left. Unfortunately for the defenders on Culp's Hill, all but General Greene's brigade of the 12th Corps left. Greene immediately started to secure his position by piling up more logs and rocks to defend themselves against a possible Confederate attack. To alert him of any movement made by the enemy, Greene dispatched the 78th New York as skirmishers to his front, and an artillery duel ensued. Although the damage to the Confederate infantry was minimal, a soldier in the 1st Maryland Battalion explained, "Perhaps nothing in battle is so trying to an infantryman's nerves and patience as the preliminary artillery fire that precedes it." About 7 p.m., Johnson received orders to attack Culp's Hill. Lee's plan to divert men from the Union right and attack the left and right simultaneously was working. The weak Union right looked like it could be pushed off the field by Johnson's division based on sheer numbers alone. Johnson arrayed his brigades from left to right as follows: John M. Jones's Virginians, Francis T. Nichols' Old Brigade of Louisianians under Jesse Williams, George H. Stewart's, also known as Maryland Stewart's Brigade of North Carolinians, Marylanders, and Virginians, and finally the Stonewall Brigade under James A. Walker. However, Walker never engaged with the Federals on Culp's Hill on July 2nd. Instead of extending the Confederate left, he began engaging with 3 Federal cavalry regiments to the south and never entered the fight with the rest of the division. As the rebels moved up the hill, not all of Stewart's brigade was angled properly to attack the Union forces. His left 3 regiments had to perform a right half wheel. Performing this move over rough terrain slowed their progress, leaving the 1st and 3rd North Carolina and the 1st Maryland Battalion to attack without the rest of the brigade. A soldier in the 149th New York described the scene. The 78th came running back, followed by a Confederate line of battle, yelping and howling in its particular manner. The pale faces, staring eyes, and nervous hands grasping loaded muskets told how terrible were those moments of suspense. The late hour was making it difficult to see the approaching Confederates. As Johnson's men advanced up the hill, Jones's brigade found the terrain more difficult than the other brigades. They were facing the steepest part of Culp's Hill. An officer in Jones' brigade wrote, "The works in our front were of a formidable character, and in some places they could scarcely be surmounted without scaling ladders. All was confusion and disorder." Although the Louisianians were approaching a less formidable part of the hill, the lead thrown down by the Union troops forced the rebels to lay down or hide behind trees to load and return fire. A New Yorker described the scene. "Not a shot was fired at them until they got within about 15 rods. Then the order was given, 'Fire,' and we did fire, and kept firing. The rebels yelled like wild Indians and charged upon us at the double quick. They acted bravely. They came as close as they could, but very few got within 2 rods of us. Those that did never went away again." As the rebels began to run short of ammunition, members of the regiments carried boxes of rounds across Rock Creek to the base of Culp's Hill. Attack after attack was launched against the well-fortified Federals. Shortly before Stewart's brigade could come together, the Union got much-needed reinforcements on their right in the 61st Ohio and the 157th New York. The 71st Pennsylvania was on their way to help as well. Noticing how weakly the Federal right was, Stuart's left wing advanced on the Yankee troops and captured the breastworks there. Now the Confederates had a foothold. All 3 regiments that had been sent as reinforcements moved away from the fighting as darkness made it nearly impossible to see the enemy. The Virginians pushed on up the hill using the momentum they had gained from moving the Union troops from their breastworks. The pivotal moment for any hope the Confederacy had at taking the hill was right then, if they could make the 137th New York give way. The New Yorkers held firm, and at the dire moment, 2 regiments, the 6th Wisconsin from the Iron Brigade and the 84th New York, delivered a devastating fire into the Virginians, who were forced to move back to the fortifications they had captured earlier. It was between 10 and 11 p.m. when Stuart's battered brigade hunkered down and waited anxiously for the next morning. In the bloody contest, it was not only men who lay on the field as casualties of war. A black Labrador Retriever, the mascot of the 1st Maryland Battalion, had charged into battle with them and was killed in the fighting. The Union soldiers who found the dog gave it a proper burial. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope this animation made the battle clearer and demonstrated how determined and heroic Greene's brigade was holding on to Culp's Hill against overwhelming numbers. It really is a testament to their bravery. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you next time.